Hello students, I am Sonali Kelkar from City International School, and today we are going to do the chapter gravitation, and in this chapter we are going to cover the topics. First we are going to take up the recap, and then the topics are mass and weight, and then finally we are going to do question answers. So let's start today's session. Now let's do the recap first. Okay, so we have already done mathematical expression for g. What is a small g, children? We know that small g is acceleration due to gravity, right? So because it is acceleration due to the gravitational force of the earth, so it is denoted by small g, right? Because it is a force, I can take the equation, equation of the second law of motion, that is F is equals to ma, right? Now this a will be replaced by small g over here, because this a is nothing but the acceleration due to gravity under the gravitational force of earth. So I can replace small a with small g, right? So here I am getting the formula, that is F is equals to m into g. Clear? Now we know that the force is equals to capital G. Now what is capital G? Capital G is universal constant, universal gravitational constant. So we know that according to the universal law of gravitation, F is equals to capital G. Capital M is mass of an object. In this case, we will consider the mass of Earth. Small m, mass of an object. D is the distance between the two objects, and square, that is d square. Okay, square of the distance between the two objects, right? Now from the equation 1 and 2 we get mg. So F is nothing but mg. So F will be replaced by mg is equals to capital M, capital G, capital M, small m, d square, right? If I have to find the value of g, so I'm going to keep this g on the left hand side, and this m will definitely go down, right? When this m will go down, that m and the m at the numerator will cut down. So what I am getting here is equals to g m d square, where m is the mass of the earth and d is the distance between the object and the earth, right? Okay, now in case the object is on the surface of the earth, then this distance will be the radius of the earth, because the distance is not too much. If the object is near or on the surface of the earth, then the distance will be considered as the radius of the earth. I have already explained you this. If this is the earth and the object is on the earth, then the distance from the center of the object and the center of the earth, this is nothing but radius, right students? So this radius will be considered as the distance. So here we have to take r square. So we come to know that g is equals to capital G, small g is equals to capital G. Now what is capital G? Gravitational constant into mass of the earth divided by square of the distance, or you can see the radius, or you can say the radius of the earth. Okay, fine. So and we also calculated in the last session what is the value of g. Value of g is 9.8 meter per second square. Okay, now let's find out the difference between the small g, that is acceleration due to gravity, and the gravitational constant. Okay, now what are the factor on which the value of g depends? The value of g, as the radius of the earth increases from the pole to the equator. We know that earth is not a exact spherical in shape, but it is flattened at the top or at the pole. So the distance from the center to the pole is less, this distance is less than the distance from the center to the equator, Okay, so this is what we are going to say here. So the g, the small g, gravitational acceleration due to gravity over here will be more as compared to the acceleration due to gravity over here. So the value of g become greater at the pole than at the equator. So value of g will be greater at the pole. So I can write like this: at the pole the value of g will be greater, and as compared to the value of g at the equator. Okay, this is just I want to explain you. That is why just I have introduced this particular thing. It won't be given in any book. Just I want to explain you. That is why I have introduced this. So as we go, and the second thing is, as we go at a larger height, value of g decreases. Suppose this is the earth, right, and you are going at the larger, somewhere over here, larger height, the definitely the value of g will decrease. Why this is so? Because we know that g is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the object, right? So if I if I make the upper thing 1, then square of the distance between the object, or we know that like 1 upon capital R square, right? It can be written this manner and this manner. This when the object is near to the earth or on the surface of the earth, this when the object is at a particular height. Okay, so these two formulas have different interpretation. Okay, so we know that gravitation, this small g value will differ as the distance increases. As the distance increases, the value of g will decrease, and if the distance is less, the value of g will be more, right? So then coming to motion of object under the influence of gravitational force of the earth. Yes, we have discussed these three equations before. There will be a little change in the three equations of motion. Why? Because A will be replaced by G. Acceleration will be replaced by acceleration due to gravity, right? And let's see the three equations. V is equals to U plus G H T. Again S will also replace by H. Here the distance will be replaced by height, because the object is falling towards the earth. So vertical distance is always known as height. So vertical distance is nothing but height. So S will be replaced by height. Now here the second equation, S is equals to ut plus half at square, it will become S is equals to ut plus half gt square. And here relation, okay, here v square is equals to u square plus 2gh. Okay, so v square is equals to u square plus 2gh, and here v is equals to u plus at. So there shouldn't be any h over here. V is equals to u plus at. V is equals to u plus at. So this a will be replaced by g. This a will be replaced by g. So there shouldn't be any h over here, children. So it is wrong. Okay, now coming to the value of g. When you are throwing in when the object is falling down, its speed is continuously increasing, its velocity is continuously increasing. Because velocity is increasing, definitely the g will also continuous increase. Okay, so that will be considered as positive. G will be considered as positive, right? And when you are throwing an object upward, the velocity always is getting lesser and lesser, and at the top the velocity will be 0. So in this case g will be considered as negative. When an object is thrown upward, in that case acceleration due to gravity will be considered as negative, and when the object is falling down, in that case acceleration due to gravity will be considered as positive. So here we are considering as positive 9.8 meter per second square, and here we are going to consider g as minus 9.8 meter per second square. Now let's see the difference between the gravitational constant g and the gravitational acceleration small g, right? So the value of capital G, as we know, it is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11, and the unit is Newton meter square per kg square, right? Here the acceleration due to gravity value is 9.8 meter per second square. This the gravitational constant is a scalar quantity, whereas the gravitational acceleration due to gravity is a vector quantity. Just now we have discussed, sometimes it has become positive and sometimes it becomes negative. When it becomes positive, when the object is falling down, and when it becomes negative, when the object is throwing up, so it becomes negative. So definitely it is depending upon the direction of the motion, right? So it is a vector quantity. Now its value remains constant always and everywhere. Yes, it remains constant everywhere. Whereas if I consider the value acceleration due to gravity, okay, on earth it depends, the value is 9.8 meter per second square. Maybe on moon, we have seen in the last session, it was different. And if you go to some other planet, it will definitely go into different. Why it is different, children? Why it is different? Let's see the formula. Acceleration due to gravity is g, small g, capital G, m divided by r square. Okay, now in case of earth, mass of the earth will be different, mass of the moon will be different, mass of the Jupiter will be different, right? Even the radius of earth will be different, re will be different, radius of moon will be different, and radius of Jupiter will also be different. So you have seen, if these quantity are getting different, even though the capital G is constant, but mass of the celestial body and the radius of the celestial body is getting different, so definitely the value will be different. So it varies according to the place. The unit we have already discussed, Newton meter square per kg square, and this unit is, because this is acceleration, so definitely the unit of acceleration is meter per second square, or you can write ms minus 2. Children, units are very important. Let's see, children, relationship of mass and distance with gravitation. So let me select a pen over here, right? So let's take the first case. We know that the force, gravitational force, is equals to capital G, mass of the one object multiplied by the mass of the other object, that is the product of the mass of the two objects divided by the square of the distance between them. Okay, from this formula we are going to see the effect of mass as well as the effect of distance, effect of mass and effect of distance on the gravitational force, right? So let's first consider the first case over here. First consider the how mass affects the force. We know that force is proportional to mass of the two, product of the mass of the two object, that is m1 into m2. So this was our first case. Now let's see the second case where the mass of the one object is double. As you can see here, mass of the one object is m, that is, I'll consider it as 1, and the mass of the other object is double, so I will consider it as a 2. So what is the value of force now? So you can see the value of force is also double. So if you double the mass of one object, then definitely the gravitational force between the two objects will also get square or double. Now let's see the third case, how the force is getting affected when the mass of the one object is double as well as the mass of the other object is also double. So force 2 into 2, right? So here force is getting 4 times. if you double the mass of the two objects, if you square the mass of the two objects, then the force is becoming 4 times. Then the gravitational force between the two objects will become 4 times. Okay, so whenever I am uttering the force word, that is definitely a gravitational force. Then let's see the fourth case. What is happening in the fourth case? How the force is depending when the mass of the one object is like 1 and the mass of the other object is tripled, okay, 3 times. So here the force between the two objects is also getting 3 times more. Okay, so here we have seen how the mass is affecting the force of gravitation between the two objects. Now let's see how the distance is affecting the force of gravitation between the two objects, right? So let's see the first case. Here the first case, okay, we know that here this is how the force is. In the first case, we will see the relationship of the force with distance between the two objects. So we know that force is proportional to is indirectly proportional to the square of the distance between the two objects. Okay, it is indirectly proportional to. Why it is indirectly? Because distance is at denominator, right? If how the mass is as numerator, it means the mass is directly proportional to the force. Product of the mass of the two objects is directly proportional to the force. If the quantity is at the numerator, then it is directly proportional, and if the quantity is at the denominator, then the relationship between the quantity and this quantity will be inversely proportional. Okay, so force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two objects. We know that. Okay, keeping this in mind, let's see the different conditions, right? So the second condition, we see that the distance between the two objects is double. Okay, so let's take F. In this case, F, the distance is double, so I am going to take D as 2. Because it is a square, I need to make it 2 square, right? So this is coming 1 upon 4. That means the force has become 1/4. Now the gravitational force between the two objects has become 1/4, right? Now let's see the third condition. Here the distance has become half. We have reduced the distance up to half. So let's see if F is proportional to 1. The distance is half, so I have to take 1 upon 2 and square, because it is D square. Now if I solve this, what am I getting over here is 1 divided by 1 upon 4, which is nothing but 1 upon 4 will become reverse over here. So you will getting 1 into 4 upon 1, which is nothing but 4, isn't it? Now here you can see the force. If you reduce the different distance between the object to half, then the force between the two objects is getting 4 times. Force is increasing. Okay, so when you're reducing the distance, force is increasing. So one quantity is decreasing, the other quantity is increasing. So this type of relation is known as inversely proportional relation or inverse relation. Okay, now here you can see the distance has become 2 times, and you can see the mass has also become double. Mass of the two object has become double, and distance has also become double. So let's find out. This is quite interesting. Now we know that force proportional to product of the mass of the two objects divided by the square of the distance between the two objects. If the mass has double, that means 2 into 2, 2 into 2, and the distance is also double, that is 2 square. So what I am getting here, I am getting 4 at the numerator, at 4 at the denominator. 4 divided by 4, it is 1. So it means there is no change in the force. If you if you square the mass of the two objects and as well as square the distance between the two objects, you won't find any change in force. So let's now do mass and weight. Okay, now mass m, mass is denoted by small m. Now what is mass? Definition is mass of a body is the quantity of matter contained in it, or you can write total content of a matter is known as mass, right? Total content of a body is known as mass. Now what is mass? Is a scalar quantity or vector quantity? It is a scalar quantity. It means it doesn't depends upon direction. Now mass of a body is always remain constant. That means if you go to any place on the earth, the mass will remain same. Even if you go to moon, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, any part in the universe, the mass will remain constant. It will remain same. If a body has a mass of 20 kg, that mass will remain same wherever you go, wherever in the universe you go. Okay. Now we know that SI unit of mass is kg, and mass of the body can never be zero. Very important thing. It can never be zero because it always remain constant. Okay. And mass is measured by pan balance. Here you can see the pan balance as well as you can see the physical balance. So these two things are used to measure mass of an object. Now let's see the weight of an object. What is weight? Now weight is nothing but the force. So weight is nothing but the force with which an object is attracted towards the center of the earth. So it is clearly been seen that weight is depend upon the object. Here the object is earth, so definitely the weight on the earth will be different than the weight on the moon or weight on the Jupiter, because weight is a force with which the object is attracted towards the earth, right? So weight is not constant. It means it is not constant because it depends upon the place where you are standing. Okay, now let's derive the weight. We know that we have already seen that weight is nothing but the force. So what is the formula for force? Force is equals to mass into acceleration, right? Because we are talking about the earth, so definitely A will be replaced by acceleration due to gravity, that is small g. So finally we are getting the formula, that is F is equals to m into g. So this force is nothing but the weight, right? The force of attraction of earth on an object is called weight. It should be written as small w, children. You have to note this, okay? Not capital W. But capital W stands for watt, but small w stands for weight. So whenever you are writing, you have to make sure that you are writing small w. The lowercase of w is representing weight, okay, or weight is denoted by small w. Okay, now w is equals to m into g, mass into acceleration due to gravity. Now let's know more about weight. Weight always act vertically downwards. If a body is when a body is even a person, if it is standing on an earth, definitely its weight is nothing but the force with which the earth is attracting that body, right? And it is always towards the downward, okay, towards the center of the earth. So definitely it is a vector quantity. Weight has both magnitude as well as direction, and thus it is a vector quantity, right? So if I'm talking about the weight of this person is 20. What should be the unit? So let's see the unit. Okay, the weight of the object changes from place to place depending upon the mass of the object. We know that W is equals to mass into G. Okay, so definitely weight depends upon mass as well as weight depends upon the acceleration due to gravity. And we know that acceleration due to gravity it's different on moon, on earth, on Jupiter, okay, wherever you go. So weight depends upon the mass as well as it depends upon the acceleration due to gravity. Clear, children? So if acceleration due to gravity increases, weight will increase. If acceleration due to gravity decreases, weight will decrease. So how they are proportion? If one quantity is increasing, other quantity is also increasing. It is, if the weight is increasing, then acceleration due to gravity is also increasing. That means they are directly proportional. Directly proportional. Okay, so weight is proportional to mass and acceleration due to gravity. Now coming to SI unit, as we have told you, I have told you before, so SI unit of weight is Newton. So what weight I am going to write here? I am going to write as 20 Newton. So now you can find the difference between mass, the unit of mass was kg, so 20 kg and 20 Newton. So 20 kg is nothing but mass and 20 Newton is weight. Weight of an object becomes 0 if g is 0. If the acceleration due to gravity becomes 0, then definitely the weight will become 0. If you go to universe, you go and cross the atmosphere of Earth, in the universe, if you are there in the universe, acceleration due to gravity is definitely will be 0. So weight over there is 0. Now weight is measured by spring balance. Here you can see in this picture, a person weight on the equator is 978, whereas his weight near the pole is 981, that is increasing, and at the pole its weight is 983. So at the pole, why the weight is more? Because at the pole we know that acceleration due to gravity is more, right? And we have seen that weight is proportional to acceleration due to gravity. If the acceleration due to gravity at pole is more, so definitely the weight will be more. And acceleration due to gravity over here at equator is less. Acceleration due to gravity at equator is less, so weight will also less, right? Here is a spring balance, children, which is used to measure weight. Now coming to weight of an object on the surface of moon. Then mass of an object is same on earth as well as on moon, but weight is different. Okay. Now the weight of an object is given as, just like the earth, the moon also exert force on an object, right? So weight of an object on moon will be different than the weight of an object on earth. So now we have to compare how what happened when a body goes to moon. Okay, so if we have to find out the weight of the object on moon, then we have to compare weight of an object on moon as well as with weight of the object on earth, right? So moon, weight of an object on moon will come at the numerator, and weight of the object on earth will come at the denominator. Now we know that weight is nothing but the force. We know the formula of force. Okay, so force or gravitational force is equals to capital G mass of an object on moon and mass of a moon multiplied mass of an object and square of the radius of moon, right? So I can replace this F with W, weight on moon, right? So I have replaced weight on moon and then weight on earth. So in case of weight on earth, you have to take mass of the earth and the square of the radius of the earth. And here you have to take mass of the moon, square of the radius of moon, right? And when you reverse the formula, you will get this. How you will get this? Radius of the earth will go up and radius of the moon will go down. How you will get this? You have to just write this and then divided by G mass of earth, mass of an object divided by square of the radius of earth, right? This is what we are doing, right? We are dividing this with this. So this particular thing will go up, it will become reverse. So G M, mass of a moon, mass of an object divided by square of the radius of a moon. Now this will go up. Okay, so R square E will go up. You are dividing fraction with fraction, right? And the whole G M E, mass of the earth and mass of an object, will become like this. So this and this mass of an object will get cancel over. G and G will get cancel over. What we are getting is mass of moon here and mass of the earth here we have written, right? And the radius of the earth, square of the radius of the earth here we have written, and square of the radius of moon here we have written, right? Now you have to substitute the value. What is mass of the earth? That is, you can take it 6 into 10 to the power 24 kg. Mass of the moon 7.36, or you can take 7 into 10 to the power 22 kg. Then radius of the earth 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 meter, and the radius of the moon 1.74 into 10 to the power 6 meter. When you substitute the value in this equation, right, so you will be getting 0.165, which is nothing but approximately, this sign stands for approximate, so approximately 1 upon 6. Therefore, the weight of an object on moon is 1 upon 6 of the weight on the earth. Suppose, suppose the object weight on the earth is 48 kg, then on the moon it will be 1/6. That means 48 divided by 6. So that is 8 kg. Sorry, 8. It should not be kg, children. It's weight, so it should be in Newton. Weight should be in Newton. So I'll just erase it. Fine. If the weight of an object on earth is, weight of the object on earth is, let me take pen. Weight of an object on earth is 48 Newton. Then weight of the object on moon, this is earth, this is moon. On moon it will be 8 Newton. Why Newton? Because the unit of weight is Newton. So it should be very much clear. Now you can see here, okay, here my weight on the earth is around 560 Newton. So the weight on the earth is 560 Newton. What will be the weight of the person on moon? It will be 560 divided by 6, that is 90 Newton. I'll just erase everything. Fine. So it will be 90 Newton. Here you can see. Yeah, then mass is always 56 kg, right? Mass is always 56 kg. So weight on earth is 560 Newton. Weight on moon is around 90 Newton. Why? Because 560 divided by 560 divided by 6, it is coming 90 Newton, around 90 Newton, okay? And the mass is 56 kg. So this is what is happening. Mass, there is no change in mass, but there will be change in weight. Okay. Now coming to the question answers. When we move from pole to equator, so let me draw this. When you move from pole, this is pole, and this is what? This is the center of the earth, to equator. This is equator. When you move from pole to equator, the value of G decreases. Why? We know that the value of G decreases because we know that G depends upon the distance, square of the distance, right? With this formula, we know that the acceleration due to gravity depends upon the square of the distance. How it is proportional? It is inversely proportional. How? G is equals to capital G M and R square. Okay, G is at numerator whereas R is at denominator, so they are inversely proportional. G is inversely proportional to the square of the distance, okay, square of the radius, you can say. So if there is an increase in distance, definitely the g will decrease. If the distance is less, the g will be more. So at pole you can see the distance of distance from the center of the earth, this distance is less as compared to the distance of the center to the equator, right? So from this equation, g is more at pole because the distance between the surface of the earth and the center is less, okay, than that on equator. Now, if two stones of 150 gram and 500 gram are dropped from a height, which stone will reach the surface of the earth first and why? I think both of the stone will reach at the same time. Okay, isn't it? We have done this. We have taken the example of a feather and coin and paper. So we saw that when we drop the two objects from a certain height, they will reach the earth at the same time because my small g is not dependent of, it's independent of independent independent of mass of an object, mass of an object. Okay, so we know that this you should always keep in your mind. Okay, so they will definitely come with the same speed and they will going to touch the ground almost at the same time. So here we can see that we know that by the law of gravity, force due to gravity of the earth is given by F is equals to g small m, mass of an object multiplied by the mass of an earth divided by the square of the distance between them, right? And me is the mass of the earth, we know that. And what is force? Force is m into g, right? If you have to find out the value of g, keep the g at one place and m will go down. When m will go down, this m will get cancelled. So what I am getting is gmer square. With that, with this equation or with this formula, we can make out that small g is not depending upon the mass of an object. Okay, difference between the weight and mass, very important. Mass is always constant for a body and there is several formula to calculate mass. Okay, and weight is measure of the gravitational force acting on an body. We have already known and already seen. Mass only has magnitude, this is scalar quantity. Weight is has magnitude as well as direction, so it is a vector quantity. Unit of mass kg and unit of weight is Newton. So we know that. And why is the weight of an object on the moon is 1/6 to its weight on the earth? We can see here we have done the calculation in the last slide, but there is one more way in which you can, by which you can find out how it is 1/6. We know that mass of the moon is 1/100th time and its radius is 1/4th time that of the earth. As a result, the gravitational attraction of the moon is about 1/6 than compared to earth. Hence, the weight of an object on the moon is 1/6 its weight on the earth. You find your mass to be 42 kg on a weighing machine. Is your mass more or less than 42 kg? Let's see. The weighing machine actually measures the weight of the body as the acceleration due to gravity g is acting on the body, right? Hence, the mass reading of 42 kg given by the weighing machine is same as the actual mass of the body. As the mass is the quantity of inertia, it remains the same. So students, practice today's topic and thank you so much.